25 days from Election Day, the final stretch kicked into high gear tonight right here in our WOOD TV8 studios.
Attorney General Bill Schuette versus Senator Gretchen Whitmer. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Marley Ginter. Tonight, Schuette and Whitmer went back and forth on all the big issues, from drinking water to the roads to the Larry Nassar scandal.
I'm the only one on the stage who's taken action to protect the citizens of Flint and provide accountability. I've done that. I make no apologies for it.
And it's not just about taking action when the cameras show up. It's about doing the right thing, seeking justice for people, and cleaning up our drinking water here in the state of Michigan.
We have $1.2 billion planned to invest in the roads till 2021. I'll make it a priority to add to that. Now, Gretchen Whitmer wants to have a 20-cent gas increase.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
It's nonsense, and you know it.
No, that's what you said.
I have talked to people all across our state. There is a conversation that I tell often, because it's why I say it's time to fix the damn roads.
Now, Gretchen Whitmer failed to do her job. She did not file charges against Larry Nassar, and she did not refer them to me. Jim Dunlop, chief of police of MSU, did that. You didn't do your job.
Well, the Attorney General knows that's nonsense, and he was not in any of the meetings he professes to know what happened in. The fact of the matter is, I did my job, and I did not put my political future ahead of the interests of the survivors. I am disgusted that the AG is continuing to weaponize the Nassar case to use against me. The survivors have asked him to stop doing it.
With less than a month until voters go to the polls, tonight was one of the last chances for Bill Schuette and Gretchen Whitmer to try to earn your vote.
And we were the first to get reactions from both of the candidates immediately following the debate. What do you hope the undecided voters are taking away from this encounter tonight? There's a lot of topics. It's very heady. A lot of this stuff is depressing, quite frankly, when you listen to it. Are you worried about enthusiasm in the next 3 weeks?
No, we have enthusiasm just, blowing off the roof. And part of this debate was to set the record straight, particularly on health care policy, which is so important to Michigan. And, a healthy Michigan is here to stay, and I've always been in supportive of pre-existing conditions.
There were some distinctions drawn. Where do you think you had the biggest distinction drawn?
Well, I think, our Attorney General has been asleep at the wheel until the cameras show up, and then he starts taking action. I'm the type of person who builds relationships and fixes problems, and I don't get caught up in credit. I want results. I want solutions. I want my kids to stay here in Michigan. I want that for every family. I want our families to be able to get ahead and this to be a place people come to for opportunity again. We're up to it. I know we are.
Do you pay attention to those polls? Are you relying on them? Are you ignoring them? How do you look at that?
Well, you know what? We got 25 days left to go. And in Michigan, you win on Election Day. And on November 6th, when the dust settles and every vote's counted and the polls are closed, Bill Schuette is going to be Michigan's next governor.
You're up in the polls. Do you rely on those? Do you look at that? Do you pay attention to that?
I'm keeping my foot on the gas the whole way through. Polls are a snapshot, but you know what? What matters is that we are continuing to grow, continuing to build, and we're working 18-hour days through this election.
Our political reporter Rick Albin moderated tonight's debate. All right, Rick, your initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts are it's so much closer to the election than it felt like. I've been waiting for this debate. We've been working on it. Here we are, 3.5 weeks. We've been voting for 20 days, and now these folks are trying to turn out the vote. They've identified their voters. They know who they want to get out and vote, and so that's really what they were trying to do tonight in so many ways, trying to create that separation between the two of them. You heard words like extreme. He didn't do his job. She didn't do her job. They were really trying to create a reason for people who have probably already identified that they want to vote for them or are likely to vote for them, and they want to make sure that people go out and do that in the next 25 days. Now, if you can change some minds along the way, bonus. But the idea now is to turn out your votes, and they got very sophisticated methods to do that, but tonight's messaging was really all about that, I think.
And we were talking earlier, if you're supporting either one of these candidates, what you saw tonight didn't change your mind, and you're going to support your candidate.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the things that was key tonight was to make sure that you delivered those lines. So if I'm a supporter, or if I'm a supporter that's on the border, you want to give me that reason to go ahead and motivate me. Either motivate me to go out Monday and get an absentee ballot, or motivate me to put in my reminder on my phone to go vote on Tuesday the 6th, because this really will be about turnout. And we've seen it time and time again, particularly in the gubernatorial race, that turnout, when it falls short, can really change the outcomes of these races. And so getting every last voter out and getting them out with as much assurance as you can is really what the game is now.
Got to hand it to you for trying to get them to get specific on their answers. Do you think they really did that, though? Did they answer your questions?
I would say it's an uneven mark on that. But we did what we could to try to get as many specifics as possible. Look, their job is to stay on message. My job is to get them off message. We'll continue to have that relationship.
That's magnanimous.
Yeah.
We'll take that. All right. Thank you, Rick. If you did miss tonight's debate, you can watch it in its entirety right now over at woodtv.com. It'll also re-air Sunday morning at 10 for a special one-hour edition of To the Point.
And the debating will continue this weekend. On Sunday night, the focus will be on the big U.S. Senate race. Republican candidate John James is looking to unseat Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow. Rick Albin is one of the 3 panelists, and you can watch that debate Sunday night at 8 on WXSP.
Again, we are only 25 days away from the election, and that's when your vote will help decide Michigan's future. Tuesday, November 6th. Remember, WOOD TV8 is your local election headquarters. We'll get you all of the information you need to know before you cast your votes, and we'll have wall-to-wall coverage on that big night.